Hey there, everybody. I see you're back for more. We're on to the second part of assignment 1-2, which is creating the table. Before we start, I want to point out that for those of you who are not in my class, your instructor may be requiring you to do something I did not do in the first part, which is select the streets around Aaron Street. So this is what that would look like if those streets were selected. This is the version that the instructors pass out with their data CD. So they may be looking for that. I'm fine with this. I can see that it's Aaron Street. It says Aaron on it, so I don't need to have it highlighted in blue. But if you want to do more than the minimum, after all, Brian does have 37 pieces of flair. So if you want to be the outstanding one, go for it. Highlight those. All right. What we want to do is we want to find all the CAD calls on this block of Aaron Street. The confusing thing about this that I will tell you off the bat, which it describes in the hints, but I'm not sure it's 100% clear unless you see it, is that the block of Aaron Street includes all of this. So it's not just the things that are actually on Aaron Street. It's everything that's in this whole patch of residential area that borders Aaron Street. That's the first hint here. That's the biggest mistake that people usually make on this assignment. We will need to select all of these CAD calls, these dots that are on Aaron Street. So you noticed in the tutorial it talked about making different layers selectable. So if we do list by selection, and then click to toggle selectable, you can make everything except for CAD calls not selectable. And then we can go back to our normal view. Alright, now we need to get all of the CAD calls that are within that radius. You might want to zoom out here a little bit. You see I'm a little bit zoomed in, so you make sure you see the whole radius. There are multiple ways you can do this using the select tool. I like to select by shape. Rectangle would probably work here, although it's slanted, so actually that might not be a great idea. Polygons, those are kind of a pain in the butt. I like the circle of life, but that probably won't be the right one here. So I like to do the lasso. That's the most fun to use anyway. So all you do is you click on it, and then you just follow this whole outline here. You can see why I didn't become an artist. I can't draw a straight line to save my life. So let it go, and now you see that these ones are selected. You also see why it was actually a bad idea for me to use big red dots for the other things, because now it's not really all that evident which ones I selected, whereas if these were green or something, it would be a lot more obvious. Alright, we're supposed to have 13 selected, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's the deal here? If you've read the hints, you see that it says, although it appears there are only 6 incident points, there are actually 13 total because multiple incidents are at the same locations. How do we get the information on these calls? Wow, what did I just do? Somehow I deselected them all. I don't know what I hit. That's alright, we can do this again. So, it says, use the Select Features button and information in the attribute table to get the data on all relevant calls. Well, we can certainly go to the attribute table here. Wow, that's a lot of calls here, 274. If you scroll through it, there are random ones selected here, there, and everywhere. If you remember from the last assignment, the way to collapse all those and see only the ones that are selected is to hit this button, appropriately titled Show Selected Records, and boom, there are 13. We need this table in our final assignment now. How would we do that? Well, it explains also in the hints. Like I said, the hints are actually very helpful. That we want to export this. So if we go to these options here, export selected records, so only the ones that have been selected. That's important. We do not want all records. We do not want all 274. We only want the selected records here. Only these 13. You can name this whatever you want. So I'm putting it in the chapter 1. And you'll call it CAD Calls. Make sure you save it as D-base table. You do not want the geodatabase here. Save. Okay. No, we don't need to add that to the current map. You can close this, and then we'll be done with the map. All right, so now we want to go to Excel. Oh yeah, I wanted to point out that, oh, that's not the one I want. Still not the one I want. This is the grading sheet that the instructors pass out. And you see that street selected is worth 2 points. So if you are supposed to do that for your assignment and you didn't do it, then you're behind. Mine does not require that for my students here. All right, what you want to do is you want to open a new file now. So we want to go to, yeah, that's right, chapter 1. Okay, so what you might notice is that the default, when I first did this, was all Excel files right here, and I saved it as CAD Calls. So it looks like this is going to work. Well, I'll show you why this won't work. It'll only open it as an XML source. It'll take a while to open. It'll whir around. Might say not responding if your computer's overwhelmed, and you'll sit here and you'll figure something must be going wrong. And if that's what you're thinking, you are right, because something is definitely going wrong. It should not be doing this. You'll get this error, and this is not at all what you want. This is not helpful. So we're going to close this. So they tell you in the hints to do all files. And then when you look at all files, you notice there are multiple CAD calls here. There's a DBF file and there's an XML file. So we do not want the XML file, we want the DBF file. So double click on that, that'll open this. If we look at the assignment, they say have a table that's address, date, and call type. So address, alright, so we got that. Date, this is date, except that we can't see this, so we're going to need to make this a little wider. And call type. So this is call type right here. All the other ones we can get rid of. So you can select, control, select, control, click on all these, and delete them all. Now you're left with these three. If you double click on this, put the cursor here, double click, it'll automatically size it to fit. Now you see they have address, date, call type in a different order. They have address first, call type last. So if we select, cut this row, and insert there, now it's in this order. So address, date, call type, we could even make this header row the same color that they make it if we want. And boom, that's exactly how they have it. So copy this, go to our Word document, make sure the cursor's at the bottom, and paste it in there. Now you see my cute little trick of making it conform to the data didn't quite work, because Word stinks with tables, so we could just make this a little bit bigger. There we go, now it'll fit. Let's ignore the profane language in the call type category, and just call this a day here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 burglaries. Or I'm sorry, not burglaries, crimes. We got address, we got date, we got call type. We got the map zoomed in on Aaron Street. Checklist for my group, zoomed in on Aaron Street, check. We got the street, the curbs, and the buildings all light gray, check. We got CAD calls, the top layer, so they're showing above everything, check. And table, we have 13 incidents, so check. So I just got 100 on the assignment. Hopefully you did too. That concludes assignment 1-2. I'll see you on chapter 2.